Aloha gang, Happy New Year, and welcome to another episode of Rich's Whips. So we got to do this project, which is a 2009 Porsche 911 Turbo, to get the vinyl wrappings off of the whole entire vehicle. This would be our first time doing it. We have done vinyl wrappings before, just not the whole entire vehicle, so this made us a very big challenge. So we went ahead and took it, and we didn't think anything of it until we found out that the wrapping has been on there for over 10 years, guys. Now what happens if vinyl wrapping has been on your car for over 10 years? Well, first off, vinyl wrapping shouldn't be on your vehicle for more than 4 years. If you go on after 5 years, then you're pushing after 6, it's too far gone. There's gonna be damages in there. The wrapping gets brittle, so it's very difficult to come off. The paint gets discolored from sun exposure. The adhesive gets stuck onto the clear coat to where when you peel off the vinyl wrapping, the paint gets stuck onto it, which will cost you more to repaint. There will be scratches from taking off the adhesive. I was very hesitant in taking this project because I knew the repercussions of it. I knew there was going to be damaged parts. I knew it's an older vehicle, so it's a 2009 convertible. Not to mention, this is a Porsche vehicle, so any type of European vehicle, very fragile type of vehicle. So parts were bound to break on this vehicle. Despite all the negative thoughts that were going to come with it, I went ahead and took it anyway, and we went to work. There were definitely some parts that we broke, like the third brake light lens, because those were brittle, So I'm so surprised that these parts cost so much on this vehicle. It's insanely expensive to own or be a Porsche owner. Crazy. Like I said, it is a 2009 and it is a convertible, so there's not much vehicles like this. Not to mention, parts were very difficult to find for this vehicle. This was thus far the most difficult vehicle that we had ever worked on. I felt like we were working at a body shop because we took apart bumpers, we took apart headlights, we took apart tail lights. We had to manually retract the convertible because the motor wasn't working, and something happened during that also. Honestly, I worked day and night in this vehicle, and with Jojo's help, I don't know how the heck we could have got it done, but we just kept chugging, and we kept eating it up. I mean, I literally cried every single night because my body was sore, my fingers were sore, everything was sore. The brittleness of this vinyl wrapping was really just insane. I think he had it on for over, I don't know, even 12 years possibly, because like I said, it is a 2009, and if he had done it after he bought it, and this is like 17-year-old vehicle. So I'm just trying to do the math. If he bought it in 2009, maybe got it wrapped at 2010, that's literally a 16-year wrapping. If he had done, because I would think people usually put the wrapping on after they buy the vehicle. Mind you, we used everything under the tree. The wheel eraser, we used Goo Gone, whatever. We used heat, we used everything that we could think of to take this wrapping off. And we took our time too. We had to be careful. This is a Porsche, very expensive vehicle. But there was just some parts that were so difficult to come off, man. Like, the frustration on this car was level. Like, I'm surprised I didn't shoot myself and die. The customer also wanted us to remove the wheels and paint them, which we did that also. Looks way better than it was. So Jojo and I, man, we were definitely in the zone on wanting to get this vehicle out, man. We were so driven, and we were just ready to not have this vehicle here so bad. And so yeah, we just went into hyper mode, and we just ripped every single part of this vehicle. And like I said, like, this vehicle was a very tight vehicle, so not a lot of space to work with. When we took off the bumper, that was crazy. And then we had to put it back on, which was even worse because there's no space to work, nothing, like both front and rear. And it's just so secure where there was like so many screws that we had to just tighten on, and I had to take off the bumper like maybe like 18-20 times just to get it right. Honestly, maybe even more, but this vehicle totally exerted every ounce of my soul. Now, as you can see here, it's almost ready. So as we were, almost doing the final touches, the freaking the driver rear window, while taking off the convertible, because it had to come off to do it right. Now, when pulling it back up, the driver rear window regulator binded, causing it to break. So here we are now with the broken driver rear regulator. It just had to happen on our watch and on our time. That's crazy. Now we're in the process of repairing it. So we went ahead and ordered a repair kit from online, and those didn't work because we had lack of tools, lack of equipment, and there was no way that I was gonna buy a $1,500 window regulator from eBay because this part is obsolete. They no longer sell this part anymore. So our next option was to call the trusted website called Window Motor World, and they are out in Florida. So we went ahead and packed it up and sent it all the way there. And guess what? They did not miss. They came back, they brought it back perfect, in pristine condition. I'm so surprised, and the price was right. If I had problems with any regulator ever again, I would definitely take it to them. Now here we are at this point where, it's almost ready to be picked up, and we're so very excited. The window is back in, the regulator is back in. We had to fill it up with some gas because we kept having to pull it in and out. The rims are painted. What else wrong could happen at this point? Mind you, the customer had to come back and forth to pick up the car about 2-3 times because something went wrong. Luckily, our client is super dope, and he was real cool about the whole situation. We couldn't have had a better client for this vehicle. Hear me out, guys. Nothing in life will ever come easy. If it does, it's a scam. I took this vehicle in knowing the repercussions. I knew this was an old vehicle. I knew that things were gonna break. I knew this was an expensive vehicle. I also knew that this was a European vehicle. Now, mind you, I really didn't do this much for the money. I didn't do this for the views. I wanted to do this so I could challenge myself. I could see what type of potential that I'm working with, and being that this project came all into fruition, I feel like our detailing game just stepped up to a whole nother level. This is an accomplishment that we can remember for the rest of our lives. Now, it took us about nearly 3 months, just trial and error every single day of working on this vehicle. At the end of the day, we were really happy that our client was really happy with his vehicle, and that right there is just complete pricelessness, if that's even a word. And you guys want to ask me if I ever want to do this again? You bet your ass, absolutely. Now the knowledge that I've gained from this experience, just priceless. Now I can move on to do more, bigger and better things with this talent that we had acquired. This is such a big relief because we have been working on this for a while, and it's just amazing. Now this car, the battery kept dying, so this is me jumping it. So I gotta jump it every single time because it hasn't been running, so he has to run it for a good hour or two in order for the battery to charge. We're truly blessed, man. We worked really hard, and I want to thank everyone that was involved, especially Manong Jojo. Manong Jojo, you're the man. I love you so much for going with me through this trial and tribulation. And this man, he really came with a good attitude, good mindset, man. Like, he just had this great belief that this was gonna be done and it was gonna be done right. And just, man, I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful, man, for real.